Hey, Ben here with you at the studio on the lake. Hey, Jordy's Cottonwood shipment arrived. If you guys remember, I sent him a box of basswood, and he sent me a box of gold here. So, what we have is a big box of cottonwood bark. There's some little pieces, a whole bunch of stuff in here. I have never carved this before. This piece is particularly interesting. It's got two sections together. That'll turn into something pretty neat, I'm pretty sure. And here's one that looks like he started something on and gave up. But this stuff looks great. And like I said, I've never carved it before, so today I'm going to run a quick video down. Also, always go over and look at Jordy Johnson's stuff at Carving Fusion. He sent me part of his literature. He's got fancy stuff that I haven't done. He talks about the wood spirits here. I didn't zoom in on the camera on that. And then he sent me an upside down Carving Fusion. Oh, there we go. If we turn it around, it looks right. So we got a sticker to add to the sticker cabinet. So I decided to do two pieces just to give a quick run over. And this whole thing took me about 2 hours this morning. I am flying nights this week, but I really wanted to try this stuff out and get it out. So this is going to be a quick video. Apologize to those of you who say they didn't learn anything by this, because this is really not a tutorial. I'm just going to run this thing at various different speeds, and at the end of it I'm going to end up with a wood spirit that hopefully is acceptable. And then I thought I would do a spirit house or a fairy house. Jordy doesn't like the word fairy, but I can't think of a better way to do it. But just a little whimsical house at the end. So initially I wanted to scribble on it and see if I could get the face in there, and I can. Jordy did tell me several times that I needed to pull this bark off and get down where it chips, and we'll talk about that a little bit as I go along. First impressions of this stuff, I really do love it. That's overall, I get a kick out of it. It's good stuff. There's going to be some great things come out of this, I'm sure. So I tried the power carver there a little bit with the Cuts-All bit on it, and I got a feel for it, and it was cutting nice. So I brought out the big money to remove those upper layers where it starts to chip off. And at this point I hadn't really noticed a lot of chipping off, but I did remove quite a bit of that down. I gotta admit, my initial impression, if I'm grabbing a burl or a tree root or something and I'm going to do a spirit, I'm kind of trying to work with what's in what the wood is doing and what the limb is doing. And this is a different sport for me. I took away a lot of the stuff, but I did try to leave some at the top and around the back, and you'll see that. So I got an initial face that I like the looks of there. I'm going to try to make him look up a little bit. There really was no plan for this, and the very short version of the unfinished spirit house, but I wanted his eyes to be kind of looking up. I wanted him to have this honker of a nose, and I didn't put in a whole lot of cheekbones. I just kind of went with the flow of the beard and the mustache and the hair in there. But like I said, this is not going to teach you anything. That's a Cuts-All bit there. It is actually a new one. I did get a new one just for the heck of it. So I'm setting in the eyes, setting in the nose, and I'll carve that down deep there. And everything in this is ludicrous. You saw me throw a piece off to the side, a little piece chipped off. It's kind of like shale, if you've ever done any masonry work. So I'm bringing the nose down. What I did learn is if I carve this straight on, it has a tendency, it will, if there's a piece that wants to chip off, if you're carving this straight on like I would basswood, I don't even know if I'm describing that correctly, against the grain or across the grain, it will chip a piece off. So if you want it to stay there, you kind of have to come at it from underneath and from the side. So jumping ahead again, not spending a whole lot of time, I wanted to try a diamond burn, see what those eyes were doing. I got the initial looking up part that I wanted. I got his nose kind of where I liked it. Thought he might be looking a little cartoony. I'll fix that as we go a little further in here. This is right now is ludicrous speed. I think 6 times or 7 times, and that's just too fast. For some reason, it seems to want to catch every time I pause. So it just looks like I'm sitting there holding it. Like I said, this guy took about an hour to carve. You can do this stuff really fast. It holds a nice edge. The dust is pretty overwhelming. I think I ought to get the dust collector going, but I didn't today. I will in the future. There's a definite smell to this stuff. Not bad, but I think you should probably use dust masks and that sort of thing when you're carving this stuff. So there you see at ludicrous speed. I really am working in the middle and making cuts on this, but it didn't show out that way. But occasionally it catches up and it shows you. So I'm putting in the mouth now. Kind of wanted him to have a whimsical look. There's a bottom lip off to the side. Make it deeper. And there we go. Now you got a mouth. Putting a beard in. I'm going to try to leave, a half an inch underneath the bottom, and I'll relief his face out as it goes along. You'll get to see some of that. There's the relief coming out on the face. Hard to tell. Relief in it on the left side there. I wanted to leave some of the natural and see what happened. At the end, I'll throw a quick coat of linseed oil on this just to see what it does. But overall, Jordy, this is great stuff. This is fun. I know now why people use it for carving wood spirits in little fairy houses, because it's really agreeable for that. I switched to a ruby, taking the eyeballs down a little bit because they're a little too big, and then rounding them over. This is really a worn out ruby bit that I put in there, and I was starting to notice a little bit of wood grain around the eyes, and I wanted to see what that did if I really polished it down, and it really made a difference. I apologize for some of the filming on this if I don't get down into the nitty-gritty detail, but really this is just a shout out to Jordy and the thanks, and to show him that I can actually use this stuff. Some of the future things are going to be spectacular out of this stuff. I could tell you, because it's a lot of fun to carve. It really carves in any direction that I want to go with it. And the only thing you really have to worry about is maybe a piece chipping off after you're done. But most of these whimsical carvings, you're not going to destroy it when a little piece comes off. You can go ahead and fix that without too many issues, I think. So here we're getting near the end of what I'm going to do on this. I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of time. Like I said, from start to finish, probably an hour. I am happy with the way he turned out. I got no issues with him whatsoever. And again, some of my camera angles are not real good. Hey, look at this. I went ahead and signed him. I thought he was worthy of that. I don't know how this burns in the fireplace or the wood stove. I'll have to check that out as soon as I wreck one. This one I didn't wreck, so I'll go ahead and shine it. When I shine, I sign my initials. Basically, I have for 20, 25, 30 years, and I also put a date on there. I used to put a month in the year, and now I've just kind of gone to the year on that. And this one I didn't do it, but usually I'll come back with a pen and actually sign my name. So there's that character right there. That's linseed oil, boiled linseed oil, which I like to use on various different pieces. I don't use the poly and the Minwax and that sort of stuff as a rule. I will on a sign or something that I'm carving that may need to go outside. This goes on pretty wet, and then I'll wipe some of it off. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole piece. He looks dark, but I'll come back and wipe some of that off with steel wool. And I could use a flap sander and that sort of thing. So he's wet, looking pretty dark, but that just gives you an idea of how deep I went into that wood. There I am, quickly wiping pieces and parts off. And I'll brush some of the gunk off of him there that was on my rag. And like I said, I'm real happy with the way that turned out. You can come back and put, I wish I had some shellac. I like the looks of the amber shellac on a lot of things. But there he is. There's a wood spirit. 1 hour carving. And again, funky camera angles. You got to catch up in there to get his eyes. But so here's number 2. This piece had a chunk sticking out on the side. Looked to me like it needed 2 parts to a house, so got out the big grinder, or set it on the bottom. It's going to be a house on the left on this, and I am not going to finish this one. I want to get this video done. I have to take a nap sometime and get this thing uploaded. And I really wanted to get it done so Jordy could see that I could actually use this stuff, and let you guys see what happens when you share wood from different regions. Jordy pulled this off the beach. I've watched him. If you watch his videos, and I highly recommend you go over there and do that and see where he gets this stuff. I would collect this by the ton if it were available around here. So that's sitting in my lap thinking about it. Got a bigger house on the left, a little spire house on the right. Down on the bottom there, I'm going to run a staircase up and then bring a couple more parts of houses out. Again, you're going to see this jump all over the place. Roof on the left, roof on the right. Starting to put the doors in. That's working on the roof on a lower piece that hangs out. I will finish this and actually put a lot of the stuff in there. I think I will turn this into a tutorial video, but this is just a quick edit here in the morning so that I can get this up and let you know that this stuff is going to work. And I'm really happy with the way this is. And thanks a lot, Jordy. You sent me enough pieces that I certainly have room to play with various different things. I can get, heck, I don't even know, probably 20 pieces of wood stuffed in that box. That's awesome. That's the stairwell initial getting cut down through there. This stuff carves very similar to basswood, maybe just a little bit easier. It is a little dustier. But other than that, it does what you want it to do. The only issue I can see is these I really wanted, they look bigger. This is a small piece. It's really only 3 or 4 inches across, as are, and that's where the bark breaks off on the tree. And you'd be a lucky person if you could get a hold of one that was 2 foot tall, 3 foot tall, and a foot wide. I mean, you could really make a spectacular carving out of that. This house is not going to be finished in this one. You can see I drew in some windows. Up there you got the 2 spires. And I put in the shingles on most of the roofs roughly. And I did that all with cut-sawls and rubies. And that's about the end of what I'm going to do. There's going to be a rock face under the upper left cabin there. But there you go. Here's what you can do with cottonwood bark. I never knew how that stuff carved or what it did. I've seen people use it over the years and just haven't had an opportunity to play with it. But it's awesome. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it and come up with some really unique stuff. So, hey, thanks a lot, Jordy, for getting that in the mail for me. So I've got some great ideas for these, and I will get back to the Cuckoo Clock. So that's what happens when you get a box from Canada, and then you open it up, and it's filled with that stuff there. So great stuff. Thanks again for sending that, Jordy. It's going to be good fun. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, thanks a lot. This has been Ben with Studio on the Lake.